Hi everybody, this is Crafting Journey with Rebecca, and we're going to start another crafting journey. This is my first FlossTube, and I want to bring you along on this journey. We're going to do this from a beginner's perspective. Now, I'm sort of starting over. This is something I did many years ago. I did it for many years, but many years ago. My son is now 38 years old, or is he 39? No, he's 39. No, wait a minute. Hold on. 38. He's 38 years old. I did cross stitching when he was a baby 38 years ago. I remember cross stitching him a Christmas stocking that for me, let me just adjust this microphone. I want to make sure that you can hear me. For me it took a long time. It was a full cross stitch. I mean, it was long, and but I worked on that thing diligently. I've worked on some other pieces. I actually had probably every color, DMC color that existed back then, 38 years ago, which to most of you guys aren't 38 years old. So yes, DMC floss and cross stitching existed before some of you did. Yeah, it's a thing. It was a thing. So I don't know that we had the variety that is available now. My gosh, you can cross stitch anything. And this is really where diamond painting, and this is primarily a diamond painting channel, but once a week you're going to see my progress on the floss stitch, and I want to see your progress. So go on my Facebook page. There's a link down in the description, and leave a picture of your work in progress. If you have a question, you can leave it there, or you can also leave it in the comments, and of course I will answer it to the best of my ability. Where was I? Ancient history, yes. So I had every DMC color that you can think of that would have existed back then, and there was quite a lot. So, but I had it all bobbinated up, which means I had it wound around these nice little bobbins, and they were all available to me for my projects. I had a whole storage container full of projects that I was probably almost done with, projects that I was starting. It was, things that I wanted to do in the future. But life happened. I had another baby. I had my daughter. I had career. And then, the cross stitch kind of went away. I don't know what happened to that storage container to this day. Every few years, I would pick it up again and I would start. Because I kept everything very, nice and neat in the container. But I don't know what happened to that container. Oh my God, that would be a gold mine if I could find it. So I'm starting over. So I did pick a project, and I want you to pick a project yourself. You can go to the store. There's only 4 things that you need. Number 1, you will need a pattern. You can go to any hobby store, Hobby Lobby, Joann's Fabrics. You can go to Michael's, and I don't know, whatever is available wherever you live. There might be other stores that I haven't discovered. I know there's probably other stores in other countries, because some of you are from Australia, some of you are from Canada, and other parts of the world. So let me know what's out there that I haven't seen. But you can get beginner kits there that will have these 4 things in there. Or you can go on Etsy, ETSY, on the internet, and oh my gosh, just put in whatever search term you would like to put in. I put in Alice in Wonderland because I'm a huge Alice in Wonderland fan. I just love all the images, the worm, the cat, Alice, the Mad Hatter. But you can use Harry Potter, you can use Star Wars, whatever you're into, put that in. Put, Star Wars cross stitch and see what comes up. Oh my God. Now, none of it may be beginner, or you may find some beginner stuff. But choose something you like and let's go for it. So I chose an Alice in Wonderland pattern that is pages and pages long. But please don't do that. Please choose, you know, something you're comfortable with. So I had actually gone to the store, and because this is take two, I went to the store and got this little teeny weeny beginner's kit. And let me show you what's in this kit, since I've already opened it. Okay, it has the thread that you need for this pattern. It has the pattern for this little itty bitty kitten that you're gonna see on the front. And I will put that closer to the camera later on. And it has the instructions, which don't lose the instructions if you're buying one of these little kits, because the instructions have information about. It has the schematic for your pattern. So there's your pattern. This one is about 20 by 20. It says it is, okay, I'm wrong, 39 by 33, so 30 by 30. And then it has the colors of the thread and so on and so forth. And my camera's way too far away to actually show you guys any of that, but I'm going to teach you how to cross stitch. So pick up one of these little patterns. This would be super, super simple to do. Now I also, I was going through Instagram and I found some, and I wish I had wrote it down. I found an article on, you know, things to craft for Easter, and one of them was a cross stitch, and it was this Easter bunny. And here's the pattern. I can email it to you. If you're interested, email me, and let's talk about it. But this is probably this is a 40 by 40. So the one here was a 30 by 30. This is a 45 by 40 by 40, but this one I think is 11 colors. This one's 4 colors. This is yellow, green, red, and pink. Super, super simple. So if there's the DMC colors there, all 4 of them. Now the DMC colors for the pattern that I chose is an entire page and a half long. So I went and got all those DMC colors. But okay, so what do you need so far? You need a pattern. Okay, so we've got our pattern, whatever pattern you chose. Maybe it's a little beginner kit, or it's something from Etsy or something. And the patterns that you buy on Etsy, let me mention this, you do not have to wait for them. They are PDF downloads, so you pay for them, and really relatively inexpensive, and they send it to your email. You can download it, and if you've got a printer, you print it off and you got your pattern. Then you take your little pattern with your list of DMC colors to the store and spend money, because the next thing you're going to need is the cloth. Okay, this is just a little piece of cloth that we got in the beginner's kit, and it's probably a 4-inch square. So this is a 14 count Ada. Now 14 count is the number that is associated with the little holes that are in between each square. And this is 14 count is usually one that can be seen very easily. Now there's a scale, and if the scale goes higher, 15, 16, 17, 18, all the way up to 20 something, those holes become closer and closer together and harder to see. If you go lower than 14, say an 11, the holes will be even larger, farther apart and larger, so you really can see them. But 14 is where most people are comfortable. At anything higher than 14, you're probably going to want some sort of magnifying glass to see it. And they make those magnifying glasses for cross stitch, where it, maybe straps around your neck and you can sit there, and they're uncomfortable, but you might find one that's comfortable for you. And Heaven and Earth Designs, they do designs for cross stitch, and they are amazing, but they're designed to be done on a higher than 14 count fabric. And you really are going to need a magnifying glass to see those things. But we're not going to go that direction. We're going to get a 14 count cloth. If you don't get the beginner's kit, say you want to do the Easter bunny here, then you're going to need to find a piece of cloth. So in the same store that you find your pattern, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, one of those stores. I'm just looking at I need a manicure. Good Lord. I digress. You are going to want to pick up this, and they come in different dimensions. I picked up this one because I need a very large piece of cloth for the pattern that I picked to do. And this piece of cloth is actually, it's a 14 count, which is the same as this one. It's just a larger piece of cloth. This is 20 inches by 24 inches. And there are larger ones than this. And there are many that are smaller. So find one that's smaller, you know, so you can have a small project. You can do this Easter bunny on this piece, you know, like a 4-inch by 4-inch, or you can do the beginner kit. Also in the kit is the thread. So this, in the kit, when you get the thread, it's going to be kind of knotted. It's just a simple little knot that you can undo yourself. And then the thread is going to look like this. So what you're going to want to do if you've got the beginner's kit is you're going to want to open out that thread and separate all of the thread. I'm not going to do it now, but and then you're going to want to get your piece of paper at where it says what colors you should have. And because most of the times in the kit there is no DMC number, it just has the color. You're going to have to kind of guess based on how many strands of each color there are, which color is which. You know, there's a dark purple, there's a regular purple, there's a light purple. So you're going to have to figure out which purple is which purple. So you want to separate them all out and organize them in any fashion you so choose. You could, if you want to, say for instance, you have this green thread here, which I'm going to pull out. Let's see how many strands of this green thread there are supposed to be. Let's see, we have red, light purple, purple, light green, and green. Okay, so this is green. And one strand. So there's only one strand of green in this project. Now, so you don't want to get it, you don't want to lose it. You could toss it back in the bag and it'll get tangled up with everything else, or you could put it on a bobbin. Now, bobbins are available. You can buy them in small packs. Like, oh, you could spend so much money in the cross stitch aisle at your local fabric store. You can buy them in these little packs like this. There were 28 in this package. So you open it up and what you have are these little bobbins, and I will take a permanent marker and just write up here the DMC number. If you're picking out DMC thread, for instance, if you choose to do the bunny, you're going to go buy 4 DMC pieces of thread, which means you're going to go get 4 of these, a yellow one, a red one, a green one, a pink one. It'll tell you which numbers of the DMC to get. And the number is at the bottom. This one is 3756. So you will write that number at the top of this bobbin. And I have a bobbin here. I think. Yes, we have a free bobbin. Free the bobbins. Okay, so we have a bobbin here. Let's take that green thread. And each piece of thread is very long. Each one of these pieces of thread is actually 6 strands for your project. And this is plenty. So you're just gonna, well, I'll show you how to separate out those strands when we do the project. But for now, you're just gonna put it, each in between where you write this, there are 2 slits. So you put it in the first slit and you just roll it around like this. And you take the end of that thread and you tuck it into that second piece. And there you've got your green thread for your project. So you want to do that with each one of your threads if you're buying the little kit, and you've got quite a few. This, I think we counted 11 threads for this kit. So that will go in the kit. So you need your fabric, your pattern, your thread, and you need a needle. Now, what came with this kit was one needle. Now you can go, if you same aisle, they have a whole bunch of needles. You don't need it to be very pointy on the end, and it may not say cross stitch needle. It'll say tapestry or embroidery. Make sure that the eye is one that you can see, and that it'll go through your fabric. You don't want it to be too large, but large enough that you can see to thread this darn thing. And it, like I said, it doesn't have to be pointy because you're just putting this into a little hole. You're not actually putting it into any fabric. I keep this in this box. What I've done is I purchased a small box. I think it was 10 bucks. When you're in the cross stitch aisle, look down on the bottom row. There's all these little boxes. They go from not so expensive to very expensive. And depending on how interested you are in this craft, you might want an expensive box. And here's why. I've started to put the thread that I need for my project on these bobbins. This is just a start. Here's the rest of the thread, guys, for my project. It's a lot. So it's something I do every now and then when I'm bored. I'll be sitting watching TV and I'll get out my bobbins and start putting these on there. It just makes it easier when you're working on your project to work from these as opposed to these. And we'll get into that in later episodes. But you put these into your container as you're cross stitching. Now, this beginner thread doesn't have a DMC number, so it'll be easy to organize in here. You're just going to pick it out by color. When you're done with your small project, I would toss this, to be honest with you, because unless it's got a DMC number, I probably wouldn't put it into my organization box. And there, and then when you have future projects, you can get your organization box out. You can see which threads you already have, because you're not going to use all of this thread, I guarantee you. So you're going to have a lot left over, and you can see what you have left from your last project before you go buy your next project's worth of thread, and just save it as you're going along, and your projects will get less and less expensive. So that's why I said, if you think you cross stitch something you like and you want to invest in a large storage box, that's okay. I went with just this small storage box. It holds 50 pieces. So that's enough for me for this project. If I decide I want to, go forward with it. Ooh, sorry, that's loud. I will. So, okay, 4 things. You make sure you have a little pattern, a pattern that's not too large for to start out with, unless you just want to, and that's okay. It's the same stitch whether you're doing a large pattern or a small pattern. And I will show you how to start it. It's just a time commitment. I don't know how much you want to invest in a larger pattern, and then you decide, I don't really like this, and then you toss it and it goes in the closet and you never see it again. So that's why I recommend starting with a smaller project. Then if you decide, hey, I'm kind of liking this, let me look and see what else is out there. Go to Etsy, pick out a nice big pattern, and then you're off to the races. So like I said, you go into the fabric store, you go to the floss aisle, the cross stitch. I don't think they call it the cross stitch aisle, the floss aisle. And I just get lost in there. I'll be in that one aisle for hours because I think, and I'm probably wrong about this. There's probably 400 or 500 colors. I don't know. There's a lot on the floss color end of the spectrum. Then there's all these accessories that they want you to buy, and I always have to look at all the, the different storage containers and the different doodads. And of course, they also have larger patterns that you can buy that are like this, that come with everything. They come with all the thread that you need, and that's fine, but you do have to do the same thing. You have to separate out your thread. You have to put it on bobbins. You have to identify it somehow, like light green, dark green, whatever. So those 4 things: the pattern, the cloth. Make sure I would start out with a 14 count Aida cloth, A-I-D-A, and that's just a brand of cloth that's most popular. So 14 count. You need a needle and you need your thread. 4 things. Oh, 5th thing. What do you think I forgot? Scissors. You have to have scissors. And I have a pair of scissors in every room of my house. But when I go to find them, can't find them. So I'm terrible with scissors. I'm looking over at my diamond painting. Oh, there are a pair of scissors over there. How about that? Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're going to join me on this beginner's cross-stitch journey. And we'll have a little fun along the way. So take care. Go get your stuff, and I'll see you next time.